Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing my perfume collection Declutter. I'm currently in the process of reorganizing my entire collection, so I sat down, went through everything with a fine-tooth comb, and these fragrances you see behind me are the ones that I decided it's finally time to let go of. So I'm going to take you through each one, show you what I'm getting rid of, and then at the end of today's video, I'm going to do my best to reorganize the bar cart now that I have a little bit more space. I'm starting with the two Chanel fragrances that I am getting rid of. The first is this bottle of Coco Noir. Now, I'm not actually getting rid of this. I'm not going to throw it away because it has sentimental value. This is the very first Christmas gift that my husband ever gifted me. I want to say it's probably around 9 years old now, and it's almost gone. There's a little bit of juice in there, but it's probably somewhere around here. It's down towards the bottom because for a while I was using this almost every single day. I love Coco Noir. Unfortunately, this bottle has turned, it has a bit of a rancid smell to it. It definitely doesn't smell the way it is supposed to smell, which is why I never wear it. In fact, it's been a while since I've sprayed this bottle. I don't even like to spray it on a blotter card or spray it in this room even if I'm just talking about Coco Noir, referencing the fragrance. It's that bad. So what I will most likely do is clean the bottle for one thing. I need to dust it and polish it, and then I'll hold on to it and I will display it either on my bookshelf over here in the corner or on my dresser. I don't want to just get rid of it because it does have sentimental value, so I'll hold on to it, treat it like a keepsake. The bottle is still very beautiful, and since it is black glass, you can't tell that it's almost empty anyhow. I know I'm supposed to be decluttering these bottles, and this is the only one that I'm going to hold on to, but Coco Noir and my Chanel Gardenia perfume bottles are two fragrances that I will just never get rid of because they are so special to me. And the second Chanel fragrance I'm decluttering today is my Coco Mademoiselle Eau de Parfum. This is another oldie goldie. I don't remember when I got this fragrance. I know it's been a really long time. Just doesn't smell quite right. So even though it is not bad, it's not nearly as bad as the Coco Noir, it's not something I'm ever going to choose to wear because I know it doesn't smell as nice as it should. It's not that I don't love Coco Mademoiselle, because I do. I think this is one of the best Chanel fragrances. I think it is a staple in any Chanel collection, any luxury designer fragrance collection. So at some point I will have to replace this, just like at some point I will definitely be replacing my Coco Noir. I'll be picking up fresh bottles, that way I can wear them. I will say this is probably one of the biggest dents I have in any of the fragrances in my current collection. Ideally, I would have finished it. I'm glad I almost made it to the halfway point. I know I showed this fragrance a lot of love, but now it's just time to move on. This next fragrance is relatively new in my collection, so this might be sort of surprising. It's from Creed. It's part of their Aqua Original collection. It's Zest Mandarine. Now, if you watched my fragrance collection update video, you know that this was sent to me complimentary, and while I think it is a beautiful fragrance, it is just not my style. So this is something that I will most likely gift to a friend. I'll let my husband smell it. I don't think it's going to be his style, so he will most likely pass as well. There's just really no reason for me to hold on to it, as much as I hate the thought of giving away a Creed fragrance because they're so expensive, and truly this is one of the best luxury niche fragrance houses. I just know it's something that I will never grab, and I would hate for it to just sit on a shelf somewhere and collect dust when there's somebody out there who will really enjoy it and will want to wear it. In fact, I think I already know who I'm going to gift this to. Somebody who really loves fresh citrusy fragrances. It's a beautiful fragrance for somebody who really likes that style. Next, I'm getting rid of 3 House of Sillage fragrances. 2 of them are the same fragrance, Passion de l'Amour. And I actually have a third Passion de l'Amour bottle, which is why I'm decluttering 2 of them. I really do not need to hold on to 3 bottles of the same fragrance, even though the bottles are absolutely stunning, and the one I'm holding on to is the elevated version of the cupcake, so it has all of the beautiful designs and the Swarovski crystals. It's an elevated price point, it's gorgeous. I have personally never purchased any fragrances from House of Sillage. Everything in my collection was sent to me complimentary. At one point they were sending out a ton of PR, so I don't feel that bad getting rid of some of the fragrances that I no longer want in my collection, but I do really love those special bottles, so I'm going to hold on to the special Passion de l'Amour and I will get rid of the other two. I do really like this fragrance for evenings. I think it is a very sexy date night perfume, and there was a time I was wearing this quite regularly in the evenings. It's nice. It's a little bit smooth, a little bit sweet, but definitely deep. It's a very powerful fragrance. But I remember wearing this one time. I was in the car, and I'll never forget it. I asked my husband what he thought, and he said he didn't really like it. Usually I disregard those types of comments, but I think it must have stuck with me. And again, my fragrance collection has just grown so much that I kind of started picking up other things, and then I never really returned to Passion de l'Amour after that. If I really like something, I'm going to wear it regardless. I will just enjoy it myself. And I do like this, but not enough to hold on to 3 bottles of it. So that's why today I'm decluttering 2. So I have the original cupcake. I also have this limited edition bottle. It's the Christian Cowan collaboration. So it came in this really nice checkered print. I know it's a limited edition bottle and I should want to hold on to it. I like the black and white checkered print. I think it's very cute because it's inspired by the designer and he created it. But it's not a designer that I follow very closely. I don't really feel a connection with that house. So I have no problem getting rid of this, especially since it's just going to sit on a shelf somewhere. I would much rather give it away to somebody else who can enjoy it. And the third House of Sillage fragrance that I'm getting rid of is the Aeronauts. This was another collaboration. I believe it was with Amazon Studios. I really like this fragrance. None of these fragrances are really bad. Ooh, there we go. This is more of a fresh, I don't want to say citrus, but it does definitely have citrus notes. Yes, it's light, clean, sort of citrusy. Very fresh, not really my style, not something that I ever really got a ton of use out of. The bottle is okay. I think it was inspired by the movie, which I never saw. So similar to the Christian Cowan situation, I know it's special because it's limited edition, or it's supposed to be special, but it just doesn't really mean anything to me personally. I don't connect with the fragrance. I didn't watch the movie. I don't really like this bottle. It's one of the men's fragrance bottles, so not something that I feel like I need to hold on to. Next, I have this Maison Louis Marie number 12 Bouzeval. This is the Eau de Parfum. They also sent over the perfume oil, which is incredibly potent. When the box arrived, this was the first thing that I opened, and I simply dabbed a little bit on my wrist, and I swear it scented the entire room. It was incredible. A beautiful fragrance. If it was maybe a reed diffuser or a candle, I would really like it. It's very woody, a little bit spicy, and just masculine in general. So this is just not the type of fragrance that I would ever want to wear. I appreciate it, and I like the fact that this is a clean fragrance brand. It's available at Sephora. I will give this to my husband. He really likes it. I think it will be incredible on him. It's a very classic smelling masculine fragrance, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a lot of spice. And the dry down is so woody. It's like being lost in the forest or going camping. It will be very nice on my husband, and I know he appreciates receiving all of these little goodies. Anytime I receive something that's maybe a bit too masculine, he gets to reap the reward. So this will be great for him. I'll probably have to explain what this perfume oil is. This is another fragrance that was sent to me complimentary with no real explanation, and when it arrived in the mail I was excited, and I opened it up only to find that it was more of a masculine scent. It's from Dylan, I think is the brand, and it's by Rosie Jane. I believe this is available at Sephora. It's kind of a faulty little travel spray. It leaks all over the place, but it smells really nice. I do like this scent. It's light and woody. I could see this being unisex, but it's just not my style. It's not something that I would ever wear, and I think it leans more masculine. So this is another one that will go straight to my husband's bathroom. Same thing with this little Tom Ford Costa Azzurra Aqua sample. I must have received this when I worked for Nordstrom because this looks like the little lab samples that they sometimes give out as gratis. I love Costa Azzurra. It's one of my favorite Tom Ford fragrances for a man. Not something that I would ever wear, even though I know plenty of women who really love to wear Costa Azzurra and it smells incredible on them. It's very zesty and citrusy, very aquatic right off the top, but then the dry down is very woody. It has a very smooth woody base. It's really elegant on a man. I almost get this hint of sea salt, like a fresh sea spray. It reminds me of being on the water, taking the boat out for the day. I see a man wearing a polo shirt whenever I smell this fragrance. It's very nice. I'm also decluttering my Valentina pink. This has been discontinued, and I know I've had this bottle for a really long time. I don't think it's bad. It hasn't really gone off. It's just not something that I ever grab for anymore. It's so sweet. It's nice and fruity. You know, the more I smell it, the more I like it. Ugh, I don't want to convince myself to not declutter these fragrances. I have to be strong. I have to make room. What it comes down to is that I just don't grab this fragrance. I never wear it anymore. So as much as it is really nice, there are plenty of fragrances, plenty of perfumes that I like, that I think are really beautiful, but I don't need to own them in my collection if I'm not going to wear them. It's tempting me though. This Ellis Brooklyn Bee Eau de Parfum, I'm sort of sitting firmly on the fence about. I'm not sure. This was sent to me complimentary, and when it first arrived, I sprayed it on my arm. I really liked it at first. It's kind of overwhelmingly sweet honey. But then as it dried down, I just didn't really care for it anymore. When I filmed my perfume update, I tried it again on the water card, and I thought it was really nice. So I tested it on the skin yesterday. I think this falls into the good, not great category. And for me, that means it's time to declutter. I really like the smell of honey. I really like that sweet creaminess. And if there was something else to it, if there was something more, if that was kind of the hook, I would probably really like the fragrance. But I don't really like the dry down. It's just good, not great. As I said before, not a bad fragrance, not something that I'm ever going to be drawn to wear because I have so many fragrances that are great, that are incredible for daytime, for evening, for weekend, special occasions. I feel like I have all of my bases covered. If I'm going to purchase another fragrance or invite another fragrance into the fold, it has to be able to live up to that expectation. The bar has been set really high. This hanami fleur fragrance was also sent to me complimentary from New Face, and I thought it was so interesting. It's one of the most difficult to describe fragrances I have ever smelled. It is available at Sephora in case you're curious. It's kind of light. It just kind of reminds me of oatmeal. It's a little bit sweet. It's very earthy, oaty. I'm not really sure how to describe it. All I know is that it is not quite right for me. I certainly appreciate the gift. It was fun to try the fragrance out. The thing with fragrance is that it is so personal. I think it's very difficult to blind buy, especially if you're just including a fragrance in a larger PR package. You never know. I'm sure there are some people who really loved it. And I wouldn't say it's an off-putting fragrance either. It's not bad. It's just not something that I would ever wear, so it's gotta go. I'm going to gift this to somebody else who will enjoy it. I also need to find a new home for this Atelier Cologne Love Osmanthus. It's very fresh, very citrusy, a little bit floral. Just not my style at all. It's a lemon balm for sure. The dry down is a bit better. It becomes a little bit softer, more floral. This smells almost identical to the air freshener I currently have in the car, and it's a new one, so it's really strong. So it's not that I don't like fresh citrus fragrances. I just don't like them as a perfume. As a candle or a car freshener, that's one thing. But something to wear, I've never been drawn to that type of fragrance. Dirty Lemon from Heretic is another fragrance, and I remember the first time I sprayed this, I knew instantly that I didn't like it. But I waited, I gave it time, and as it dried down on the skin, it did become a lot nicer. It wasn't so intense lemon in your face, but it's still just not the type of fragrance that I ever like to wear. So I will be gifting this to a friend. Next, I have xedo Love and Crime. I don't remember when this was sent to me. It was also a gift. And it is the complete opposite of Love Osmanthus. It has a lot of vanilla. It's more of a sweet gourmand fragrance. And it's really pretty, but similar to B, there's just something that I don't connect with. The notes I love are in there. I should like it more than I do. I don't know. It's pulling a Valentina pink on me. Now I'm starting to like it again. See, this is why it is so hard to do this, because it's not that I don't like the fragrance. I think I've made up my mind, and then I spray it on the blotter, smell it again, and I start to melt. Because it's not a bad fragrance. It reminds me of some other fragrances that I own. I would say it would be in the same family as Angel Share, but it is different. You know, I do like it, but not enough to wear it. I'm going to stick by my original decision. I am going to declutter. I almost went back on it. I like it. It's not bad, and I like it, and it's kind of sweet, and it has vanilla. But you know what's missing is that X factor. There's just no point in holding on to a fragrance that you don't love with your whole heart, that you aren't 100% sure about. Gucci Bloom is the only fragrance from today's declutter that I finished the bottle. Now, this is a smaller bottle, to be fair. It's the 30 milliliter. Yes, it's a 1 fluid ounce bottle of Gucci Bloom, but it is completely empty. I used it up. It's not something I feel the need to replace, even though I loved it enough to finish the small bottle, simply because I have so many other fragrances at the moment. I kind of want to explore some of the other Gucci fragrances. I have my eye on some of their garden collection fragrances that are really special. It's not for everyone. I've heard some people say it's a bit too mature smelling. I really like Gucci Bloom, 10 out of 10. Would highly recommend. Is it a show-stopping floral fragrance? Probably not. I think if you're looking for a beautiful floral for spring, but something that has a bit more of a punch, you could go with probably Casterly, maybe Delina from Parfum de Marly. And the very last fragrance I'm decluttering today is Yes I Do from Etat Libre d'Orange. I really like this fragrance. I'm not truly decluttering it. I think I'm simply going to sort of separate it from my core collection of fragrances, because I would like to include it in an upcoming bridal fragrance video, and then I will most likely gift it to somebody else because it's not something that is right for me. I think this could be very pretty for a bride, especially because it's called Yes I Do, but I think this would be even better for a mother of the bride. Something special to mark the occasion, but not to overshadow anybody. It's very pretty. If I were to wear this, it would probably be as a wedding guest, maybe, and there are just other fragrances in my collection I would prefer to wear instead. So it would be a waste for me to hold on to this. So now you've seen all of the fragrances that I'm getting rid of, and I'm going to direct your attention over to the bar cart. I'm going to remove all of the fragrances that are currently there. I also need to get rid of some of the boxes. I'm going to clean everything, and then I will do my best to reorganize. I ended up decluttering 18 fragrances, including all of the travel sprays and the full-size bottles, which isn't great, but considering my collection is about 98 bottles and most of those were acquired within the last 2 years, I would say that's a good place to start. I have now gotten rid of all of the fragrances that I never wear, all of the fragrances that are too old to wear. What I'm left with are fragrances that I really love. I wear them regularly. I think they're incredibly special, even if they're not on a top 10 list or a top 20 list. They're fragrances that I know I need to hold on to because I talk about them all the time. And I like to change my fragrance rotation seasonally, so I need to have a nice group of spring fragrances, a group of my summer fragrances, my fall fragrances, my winter fragrances, even though I'm not grabbing them regularly year round like my core group. The next time the season comes around, I have them, they're ready to go. I think the key is to find a happy medium between being ruthless and not going overboard. That way you are very happy with everything you get rid of, you make more space in your collection, but you also love the fragrances that you're left with as well. So that completes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you feel inspired to go through your collection as well. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned, everything on my face, will be down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.